episode of Kickback.
How are you feeling? Chill?
Chill?
Laid
Chill?
back?
It's 30 minutes now, not an hour, but it's great to be here with you guys on Get Active TV. It will be happening 3 times a week instead of 5 days a week.
That's right. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you get to hang out with us and 2 guests. So we'll always be bringing people on, making sure you're getting the best and most comical information that we can find to guide you through this new normal.
Now, we've got 2 incredible guests coming up today.
Yes, we do.
Okay, she's very excited about our guest today. Prasad, Paramajothi, as well as Victoria Cheng, going to be joining us in studio. And you betcha we're going to put them through their paces here today. The topic for today, though...
Click, 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 click. Can you guess?
Okay. That's
okay,
what
fine. Don't
Barbara
guess then.
thinks esports is all about, but that's what we're going to be talking about today. Obviously, we're trying to keep the community safe whilst being at home, because whilst Circuit Breaker has ended-ish today, we obviously still need to make sure that we are staying strong together from the comfort of your own home. So it's really interesting to see how different communities have come together to try and make sure that people are still bonding and still having that ability to have conversations, to interact, to mingle, to have fun whilst they are staying at home, because it's not all cue and chance opportunity to go out and just have a big party. That's not what you should be doing right now.
That's right. Now, speaking of staying at home, we always have the best giveaways just for you. And today is no different. Yep. We might have migrated to the evenings, but we still want to give y'all some free stuff. So today's giveaway is from Satki masks. All you need to do, super easy, and follow the Get Active TV Facebook page, share Kickback with Kelly and Barbara onto your page, and just drop us a comment.
That's right.
Drop us a comment. It's as easy as that. We want to know your thoughts. If you know what, if you've got anything you want to ask our guests as well, feel free to drop us a comment on that as well.
Fun times ahead, and that means it's about time to bring on our first guest, shall we? So our first guest today is also known as the godfather of Counter-Strike here in Southeast Asia, and I think we need to scoot on over and...
Oh, I'm going to scoot.
Yeah, you're going to scoot, and we're going to bring him on set, in studio with us, Prasad Paramajothi. He's so tall that he doesn't even fit in the camera shot. Hey P, how's it going?
Going good. Nice to be around people. It's been a while. It's been a while, yeah.
It has been a while. Circuit Breaker has been treating all of us a little bit differently. Co-founder of VAXEE, and as I said, Striker X.
Oh. I haven't heard that one in a long while.
Yeah.
Whenever you say it, it just makes me feel like I'm 100 years old.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, like, it makes you sound really old being called the godfather of Counter-Strike and esports here in Singapore. Not just Singapore, though, like Southeast Asia. Your moniker was, well, you were famous.
Still,
you're still famous.
Let's give him that one. But
Ish.
you know, you traveled so much, and I think all you needed to say, I think when I have friends and we used to hang out, and we mention your title, like your gaming name.
She can't even say it. She's like,
that
Striker X.
Striker X. But it's like something would click in their minds, and they'd be like, "That's him," and I was just like, "Wow, okay, cool. Famous
life.
friend."
Different life, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that then. Obviously, you were one of the pioneers. You really set the bar for everyone before it became as big as it is today. It was pretty massive back then as well in the early 2000s.
Sure. I mean, when we first started it, there was no industry to speak of. There was no esports industry. These days, you have anyone come on and be like, "Mommy, Daddy, I want to be a pro gamer." They'll be like, "Sure, sure." They've heard of it. They've seen the guys that make the millions and the big bucks, right? But back then, we just wanted to compete. It was about winning. That's all it was. I still remember first ever time we went to Dallas to compete. We walk into this auditorium full of nerds and computers, and I'm like, "That's me. I want to be. That's who I want to be." Come home, tell my dad, "I want to be a pro gamer." First he laughs, then he looks at me very seriously and goes, "I will disown you." And you pursue your passions.
This is great Asian parenting.
I know. He was like, there is my way, or, that's it. But, we kept at it. and then you start having some success, you start making a little bit of money, and then it comes to a point where you're making enough to support yourself, and then your parents go, oh, okay, maybe this is something you could do, but it's still never all right, go ahead, go be a pro gamer. And I think it's very different now.
Where has it taken you then? I mean, from that first entry level competition to making a little bit of money, how has it changed or molded your life?
I think competitive esports was that education that I never had. Like, sure, gone to school, done everything I needed to do. I have that whole other life, but with esports, it has taught me everything that school could not. You know, learning to work with other people, reading people, just coming into an environment and immediately being able to problem solve. All of that was from esports. And from being a player, a team owner, organizing tournaments, helping with marketing, designing equipment, I was very fortunate to work with some of the best people in the industry, and it's taken me 20 years. Right now...
you make yourself sound
I
so
know,
old
I
when
know.
you say that.
But that brings us to obviously the next question of throughout that entire journey, what are you up to now? Where has it taken you?
Good question. This year, I started my own esports organization.
Jinx.
I mean, we used to do Team Titans back then. That was over and done with. We wanted to be the first professional esports organization. We did that. And so the new organization is called Asking Questions. And everyone is...
You do realize that is literally, like I was trying to do research on them, and it is the hardest team to look for. You Google team asking questions, or asking questions team, or asking questions esports, and you,
And you come up with this,
Yeah.
there's like a video
FAQ.
asking all these questions. Just like this, there's this little Vine that's, no, not the viral video. Okay,
Well,
moving on.
To be fair, we didn't put too much thought into the social media aspect of it. For us, it's very much about the content, you know, being pure, having people come and enjoy the game with us, and that's what it was all about. There's a huge story behind Asking Questions. Hopefully, when the website is up, you guys can come visit and find out a little bit more. But yeah, I'm doing that. We've got a bunch of boys. They're supposed to be up in Poland right now, training, living there, proper professional organization. But because the situation the way it is, sadly, we had to readjust a little bit.
Why
So
Poland?
It's cheap. Fantastic internet. You connect all around Europe. You have the best quality practice. To put it in perspective, when I was competing, you would get 6 good games a year. You go to Poland and play, you get 6 good games a night. So they improve exponentially that way.
Oh.
And then on the other end, there's VAXEE.
yeah, so tell us, you're a co-founder of VAXEE. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the past couple of years, I was working with a legendary design team, the original founders of Zowie. And we decided our lives were kind of moving away from esports a little bit. We have other responsibilities. We don't spend as much time on esports anymore, but we still love it. And we're used to a certain standard when it comes to the equipment. So we wanted to create products for people like you and me, everyday life, but with that same level of quality, same level of usability. So that's launching in Singapore in a couple of weeks. And you know, I help run the Asia Pacific side of things. That's where I'm based, that's what I know. And we've got our other partners in China, Europe. Just, it's a global business.
How do you think I would fare in games? I play Counter-Strike.
Well,
Like,
if
so
your-
far it's the
if
best
your
one.
idea of gaming is click, 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 what is it, guys?
So
Then
whenever
no.
we go to a LAN shop with me and my friends, they count me as half a team member.
Yeah.
And usually I was
I think that's
sacrificial.
generous. I think
was-
that's generous.
I was a sacrificial lamb that just kind of like ran out and caused a distraction while they were all strategic doing real stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of that, let's just ignore that. And speaking of like
As
the
I have in this
global element of esports, obviously, the tail end of last year, early part this year, the Global Esports Federation came about. And one of the questions that I love to ask gamers is, what's your take on formalizing a sport that sort of prides itself of not really having all that much structure? I mean, you've got a bunch of boys who really want to not be organized and not have all that hierarchy, and like they just want to play, they just want to have fun. Yeah, they want to compete, but what's your take on the formalization of that structure and to have someone sort of like overarching from your experience?
I think, and I hate saying it this way, but at the moment it's a fool's errand. You're trying to formalize something that hasn't even been defined. what's a professional esport? There are like a million game titles out there, but probably only one or two that have been around for 15, 20 years. And then you've got guys that just want to play. Like you guys said, you know, you come home, you have a long day, you want to play some games, right? It's like Sunday football, right? Nobody wants you to organize that for them. It's just for fun. So I think the people that want to do this have the best intentions. Unfortunately, they don't have the experience, the know-how, and then unfortunately, there are also people that want to do this for the wrong reasons. The fame, it's personal benefit, right?
Yep.
And so for me, I would say, give it another 5, 10 years. Let's let the dust settle. Let's let that bubble burst. And whatever's left, you'll know that's the real deal. Then legitimize what's left. Not right now. Right now, just let people decide what it's going to be.
Okay, so we're going to take those thoughts and we're going to revisit them in a few moments. We're going to go for a short break here on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara, and Victoria Cheng, the chubby ninja, and all sorts of awesome person and human and gamer girl is going to join us to continue this discussion with Prasad.
And we've also got a special little challenge just for them, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere.
I love how this rush gear makes me feel. Every time I put it on, I feel super powerful. My training is super intense, so I need something like this that's gonna make me feel strong and ready to go.
To Kickback with Kelly and Barbara, except Barbara's had to step out because of safe distancing. We can only have so many people on the set. So stepping in place for Barbara is Victoria Cheng, chubby ninja. You're a boxer, you are a TKD expert, you are a food journal, you are a writer, you are a host, you are so many different things. I don't know how else to introduce you. Like, is there anything you don't do?
There is lots I don't do, but I think in general, I just like to do experience as much as possible in life. So,
yeah, but and you nail it. You always nail it, and she looks fabulous while she does it as well. It's so annoying. Like all these awesome people that come on the show, and they just look fantastic. Okay, so you are also a gamer girl. And you've spent a lot of time over this circuit breaker period setting up your whole new setup. Like, it looks fantastic.
Yep.
So how much are you actually gaming right now?
A fair bit. It's funny because when you say gamer girl, I think 10 years ago I would have easily identified myself as a gamer, but now with the advent of esports, it's like calling myself a chef when I just cook at home. So it's kind of funny how times have evolved in that way. But in terms of gaming, I wanted to return to gaming this year anyway, at least on the PC. I've been doing a lot of console casual gaming. And COVID has really, I guess, gave me an extra reason to stay at home and put this rig together and get back into it. So I would say, every day. So
Every day, okay.
Yeah.
So what are you playing at the moment?
At the moment, I'm not really playing any competitive games. I naturally gravitate towards RTS or real-time strategy games. But right now, because I haven't actually had a PC in 10 years, I gave it up for adult life. So I've come back to it, and I'm actually playing a lot of old games like Dawn of War 2. I'm playing Doom Eternal. You might see a little trend here, I guess, in genre. And I like a lot of single-player games, a lot of RPGs, story-driven games as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So the two of you with your wealth of experience in gaming, I wanted to get you guys into chat. Gaming was sort of for a very long time seen as a very antisocial thing. So when the Global Esports Federation sort of came out and said, look, we want to get people playing together, we want to enhance the community here in Singapore as well. Singapore Esports Association started the whole hashtag SG Plays Together, right?
Sure.
So from a very anti-social perspective, we're now trying to create this giant social thing about it. Is it social? Is it not? What do you think?
I'm glad that gaming has become a lot more socially acceptable and more mainstream. More people are gaming, including girls and women. But it's so funny that it was viewed as antisocial. I think gaming is actually one of the most social experiences because it's like playing a board game, but online. You're constantly interacting with other people. Even in single-player games, it's a hobby that you have, even if you play on a casual level.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what she's saying. I have no idea when, or well, at least for us gamers, we never ever thought of it as antisocial.
Especially, but I guess it's because you were in a team.
Oh, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you could play online with your friends, right? But for us, being in Singapore, especially back when there were a ton of LAN centers, we didn't even need to call up anybody. We'd just all show up on a Saturday. Hey, you guys want to play? You guys want to play? It was how we kind of socially interacted back then, and to have people come and tell us, yeah, we're trying to make it a non-antisocial thing. All of us are just like, what? Yeah.
And then what about the perception of a gamer then? Because there used to be this stereotypical gamer nerdy look, right? And I know this is something that you've championed since you were playing with Titans, and it was very much that you need to be taking care of your physical self, you need to look sharp, you need to not fit into that mold.
Yep.
When has that changed?
Ooh, I think since streamers became super popular, that's when I think it really became mainstream for everybody. Because they would see these guys playing video games, but leading very active social lives. They'd be on Instagram all the time, partying, having meals at nice restaurants. They made good money. And then all of a sudden, oh, wow, that's kind of cool to be a gamer per se. I think that's when it really switched gears.
I think it's always existed. It's like, but with streaming, you see more of it. I mean, there are lots of people, normal, non-typically otaku, nerdy people who game.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of friends who game, and you would never guess until these times when you start talking about it.
Yeah, like this guy. But then also as a female in the gaming world as well, you come up against different stereotypes. It's like, do you have to be that girl that wears the really low-cut tops to try and like
I really
attract
hate
the
that.
you know, like,
I really hate
know
that.
you are the complete like antithesis of that type of gamer girl. But it's the stereotypes that surround it, right?
Yeah, I think girls and women in gaming is a whole nother issue. There weren't that many girls gaming before, and that's just a fact. And I guess it's sort of, even on social media, you kind of know the girls who reveal a lot of the cleavage area. Because they just have a lot of views and hits, but they're also just girls who game. And I think it's, again, become more approachable. I think before there were less girls in gaming for various reasons, but one of it was sort of I guess, what's the word, toxic sort of culture around it, where, like in a lot of things that women have done over a history of time, where they were kind of dismissed because they were a girl.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's been changing. It's become also more socially acceptable for girls to be gaming and normal.
But esports has also changed, right? It's not just about the perceptions of the people that play. It's also the types of games that are being played. I mean, we've seen the evolution of Counter-Strike from 1.6 to Source to Go.
Yeah.
We've seen all of these games that either we've grown up with and how they've morphed, or not at all. Street Fighter, for example. But then you've got virtual esports, so like active esports, like Taekwondo. So you're a Taekwondo black belt. And one of the things that I think the Olympic movement is trying to do is trying to embrace that active esports element. So taking sports like Taekwondo and seeing how you can compete virtually, but it's not just about sitting there and clicking a button, it's actually about being physical. Do you think this is a good way for esports to go? Is this part, like, how do you see this under the giant umbrella of esports?
It's not esports as I'm used to, or what I grew up with. That's not to say that there isn't a good side to that. If it gets more people involved in being active, I'm all for it. But one of the amazing things about esports was that it provided equal opportunity. It didn't matter your height, weight, nationality, gender. You could all compete at the same level. And so I think to call it an esport might be a bit of a stretch, but to involve that electronic or element in traditional sports, if it gets more people going, 100%, I'm all for it.
Now, someone who's actually done taekwondo like in real life and like killed at it because you're a black belt,
In real life.
in real life, to actually take that and see it in a virtual platform, like does
Sparring matches or even just practicing with each other. So I like the idea that this is an alternative. I don't think we're quite at the point, technology-wise, where it can really emulate a real-life situation. Until we can get something like the Oasis and Ready Player One, where you feel the impact, it will never be quite the same. But like Prasad was saying, I'm all for the direction this is going in as an alternative for being active. And that's not just in Taekwondo across, starting even from the Wii console when people are being more physical with
I love the
controllers.
Wii. I just want to say that, like, I had so much fun playing
So
tennis,
competitive,
boxing.
so
Yes.
competitive.
Everybody knows it. Now, speaking of a little bit of competition, we thought it would be fun to get you guys competing against each other, but it's not a virtual game whatsoever. It's going to be a very
thank
physical
goodness.
game, but a different challenge. We are going to play charades.
Oh God.
So I figured that sort of Prasad with his injured back, the acting out should be done by Victoria. So you will have 60 seconds to try and see how many of these you can get through, and you have to try and guess them. They are game titles. I will give you that much.
Oh
they
my
are all game
God.
titles. So now you're going to have to act them out. We're going
Like
to
every
put you on the
first-person
clock.
shooter is going to be the same thing. It's like-
I'm just gonna embarrass every gamer in the world with this one. What's the game? Counter-Strike. That's it. Like just one game.
Okay, guys, are you ready? We're going to time this in 3,
God.
2, 1, go. You can take the first one.
Okay.
Just don't show. You can pass and then we can go on to the next one. if
Can
you
I
want.
speak or?
No, it's
Oh,
charades. How many words?
You're a tree.
Yeah.
One tree. Elder tree. Elder scroll.
Oh my God, I'm so.
You can pass if you want to go on to the next one. Wavy tree archery.
I know it's a game.
that does not count. I gave you that.
Oh God.
I think we should pass and move on to the next
Okay.
one.
pass on to
I
the
don't think I
next
can do
one.
any of these.
30 seconds in. Come on, we need at least one.
Oh my God. Dude, I love this game, but I don't know what to type now.
You want to pass and go on to the next one?
Four words? 40? Warhammer 40K?
20
Okay.
seconds.
3 words.
Oh my God, I'm really, okay, sorry, this is the worst. I just play these games. Okay, this one's easy.
Fortnite.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
there we go. We got one. 10 seconds. 5.
FIFA?
Yes, she's got 2. And I'm going to give you one last one. 3, 2,
Oh,
1.
I don't know.
And come on.
Their logo is like.
Counter-Strike? Yes, can be. I have no idea what that is.
Your time's up. Forget it.
Overwatch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was brilliant.
I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Going-
I'm terrible.
No.
Going through the
Let us
other
play
ones.
games.
World of Warcraft.
I wouldn't have got that.
I don't know how to act that out.
And what was the other one that you had?
Dota.
Dota.
That's it.
Two
Yeah.
games I don't really like. See, this is why she didn't get it. That's on me. That's on me.
Okay, so that was all your fault.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we are going to go for a short break. Thank you guys so much for joining us in the conversation. Prasad, we're going to kick you off the set.
Yeah.
But Vic, we're going to get you to stay on because given your Taekwondo background, we figured who better to bring us through a workout on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara than Victoria Cheng herself. Taekwondo at its finest, coming your way after this short break. Don't go away.
Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all.
I love how this rush gear makes me feel. Every time I put it on, I feel super powerful. My training is super intense, so I need something like this that's gonna make me feel strong and ready to go.
Hello and welcome back to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. I am back. We've got Victoria Cheng still here with us. What's up, Kelly? It's nice to see you as well. Don't forget to drop us a comment on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara, and I want to see a picture of you in your mask, and you might walk away with a free mask from Satki Masks.
They are awesome masks, by the way. They have like wires that go all the way across the top.
No more
and
foggy
it's
glasses.
Head straps instead of like over ears. They're fantastic. Okay, the other thing before we get into this workout is Under Armour is having a fabulous new promo to celebrate Circuit Breaker ending and the new show. So all you got to do is use Get Active TV as the code when you check out on the Under Armour store to get a whopping 40% off.
Regular price items.
That's right.
That's a PNC right there.
Right. Okay, so Victoria, Taekwondo black belt. We figured what better workout to do than to sort of like get some martial arts action in. It's been a while, so come on, let's go.
Okay, so anyone can do this. This is going to be a really quick and easy workout. We're going to work mostly the lower body. Taekwondo is mostly lower body. I know you're a boxer. I know you have a bit of karate experience. So hopefully this should be okay for you guys. Let's start by stretching out because we don't want to pull anything. We're going to put our hands on the floor. We're going to step it out into a lunge. So left leg forward, right leg straight behind you. Gentle bounce up and down. Open up those hip flexors. 5, 4,
Way more flexy.
2,
My hips are not going low at all.
1, and switch sides. This is the super speedy version. You should definitely stretch a little bit more if you're at home.
Don't worry, we
3,
did stretch out during the break.
2, 1. Okay, now we're going to do a lateral stretch. You're going to step to the side.
Okay.
We'll step to the
We're
right
all
first.
going to stagger it out.
And
I can't
dip
even
into
put my
that
heel on the
stretch.
ground. Bad.
Don't go down too low. If you try to keep your heel on the floor, try to keep your balance. Put your hands on the floor for balance if you need.
This is like as far as I go.
And switch sides.
See, this side is better.
Yes, much better. Most people are flexible, more flexible on one side than the other.
Try and keep
3,
your chest up without falling
2,
over.
1. Okay.
Where is the pillar that I usually hold on
Great
to?
job so far. Okay, so we're gonna start with swing kicks. You guys can pull in your chairs for balance if you want, but in Taekwondo, our stance is usually, it's not like boxing where it's a bit more squared. Keep it as narrow as possible. So you can use the chair if you want, or you can just stand in a fight stance. From here, we're gonna do straight swing kicks. We'll just do 10 on each side. You're gonna straight up. Okay, that's right. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and switch sides. Okay. Do the left leg now, and 10, 9, 8, 7.
My hip is ticking like every time.
4.
It's like, how many have we done?
2, and 1. Okay, we're gonna do a short hit movement to really get the blood flowing. So just make sure that's not in your way. Okay, we're gonna start with a normal straight squat. You're gonna pop it into a lunge, pop it back into the squat, pop it into the lunge.
Coordination. Are you sure we really want to go there? How low
job.
should we be going?
The other hip just went.
So keep going. I will comment on your form. Actually, you guys, girls are doing it perfectly. Nice and deep. So your legs are bent at a 45-degree angle. And 5,
Still going.
4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Catch your breath.
Sweat.
Pull those chairs back in.
Okay.
While you're catching your breath. Okay. I would recommend turning it this way.
Cool.
Yes. Okay.
Cool. This is where I say, I don't sweat, I sparkle.
So I shall demonstrate first what we're gonna do. Kicks, ground kicks and side kicks are very big in Taekwondo. Used a lot in sparring. I'm out of breath. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, so for the basic side kick, you're gonna bring your knee up to your chest, pivot your foot in that direction. The reason, the theory is if you fall over, you won't twist your ankle. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna really work our obliques and our legs and our balance. We're just gonna kick it out at a height that is comfortable for you. And we're just gonna do it 10 times. So go ahead,
to make sure there's
take
enough
this chair.
space.
Okay, and you're gonna do nice and slow, a nice slow extension. Very nice. Try to point those toes downwards if you can.
Yeah,
So
demo one more time.
downward.
Oh, yeah.
Down.
Okay, can I move this further away
Down.
from me so I have more leverage?
Down.
Okay,
5 more.
3, 4, and 5. Let's go.
Nice job. Okay, now you can switch to the other side. Now, if you really want to increase the workout, you can do it for up to 60 seconds. My sub and made us do this for a good half an hour during practice.
Okay.
So, all right.
One more for good measure. There we go.
Okay, and very nice side kicks. Okay, last but not least, in a lot of forms, our basic stance is the horseback riding stance, otherwise known as the sumo squat and hit. So you're gonna spread your legs twice, the shoulder width length, and bend nice and low. Now we're gonna keep our hands by our side in punching position. You guys can punch if you want, but keep them nice and tight by your side. Now you're just gonna stay there for 30 seconds.
So question,
And hold.
toes pointing forward?
Yes,
out
toes
to the
pointing
side?
forward. Try to keep that back straight as you can. You can punch if you'd like, or you can just hold it. You have 15 more seconds. Hold it.
I like this. This is a
10,
nice burn on the glute.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that is it.
Fabulous.
Cool.
Thank you very
5-minute
much,
preview.
Victoria, for that incredible sweat session. I am starting to sweat. Hopefully you guys were sweating at home as well. Remember to join us as we wrap up today. Remember to join us again on Wednesday at 8 p.m. for the next episode of Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. Now Barbara can actually do a kick.
Yay!
Yeah. We'll see you on Wednesday.